Is it
We are
okay?
live on air.
Right.
So everyone, Hans, Rika, you're on. People are.
Hel- Hello, everybody, and the Adventure in Oneness community. I'm so happy that you guys are here this morning. We have something, so exciting to bring to you, and so filled with love, so filled with possibility, and so filled with connection to spirit, to your angels, and to the people that have, potentially passed over in your life. So I am here with the magnificent Hans King. Hans King and I have become very, very deep, beloved friends. And he is a guiding light in my life. And he has just released a book with Simon and Schuster called Guided. And I have read it. It is amazing. Oh my gosh, such deep connection to spirit, opening up different pathways and different ways to live this guided life. And so I'm so excited for all of you to meet Hans. He is a beloved friend of mine and an incredible teacher. He has been a psychic, a medium for celebrities and stars, and he's the man. Like, you guys are so in for a treat. How you doing, Hans? How's everything going?
Everything is going really well, thank you. It's hard for me to live up to all those accolades you're putting out there, but I love you, and I love what you do, and I'm so happy to be with you today.
Oh, beautiful, Hans. Well, are you excited about your new book?
Yeah, it's doing really well. I mean, I act like I'm surprised. I don't mean to be, but it's doing really well.
Now, what I love about Hans, you guys, is that Hans lives deep in the truth, right? And all of you that have been with me know what I'm talking about. His messages, his perspective, his way of guiding you to this guided life is really special. So, Hans, do you want to tell the audience just a little bit about living this guided life and your perspective on being connected to upstairs?
Yeah, I'm really happy to. Most people would like to live a guided life. Most people, unfortunately, are guided away from who they actually are. I teach that we educate our children away from who we are, not towards who they are. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I try to help people to understand is that, number one, they're not alone. That's being created out there and around them, it has nothing. It's an illusion that who they are is a direct representation of the God force and the human force. And so knowing that they have a place to go, knowing that they're not alone, I think that's a very key thing today. People understanding that they're not alone, that they are connected. That this book was about taking people back to their source. I think you and I have had several conversations about that, about bringing them home again, because it's so hard for me now. I've lived outside of the norm and lived in the light and in my truth now for, let's just say, a very long time, shall we? And what I find is that people are always so amazed about, how do I do that? I think it's the same with you. How do you do that? You're this huge bundle of radiant, pulsating light on the planet. And they wonder, how can we do that? And one of the things I want to teach people is that you and I are actually no different than other people. They can do it too. They can find their light. They can find their connection and live in that safe and loving environment.
Beautiful, Hans. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to read this book too. Oh my goodness. Well, Hans, I know that some people, may not have ever heard about you and your profound work with connecting people to spirit. Yes. So would you like to tell the audience just a little bit about who you are, where you came from,
Sure, I'd be happy to. I started this journey when I was 3 years old. Well, obviously I started the journey before I was born, but I started the journey when I was about 3 years old. And when I was 3 years old, I noticed that I saw people that other people didn't see. I heard things that other people didn't hear. And I thought everybody, Rikka, and when I was young, I thought everybody was the same. I thought everybody could see who I could see, and all that. I didn't know that I was any different. Certainly not any better then, but I was not any different. But I was, and by the time I can remember Spirit coming to me, and they would come to me at night, and they would ask me if I was ready. And people just think this is such an airy fairy story, but it's the heaven's truth. They would lift me up out of my bed, and I would travel across the house and then go out into the universe. I don't know how many people saw Out on a Limb with Shirley MacLaine many, many years ago. I think way before. I think you were a little tiny baby when that came out. And it was like that silver cord going out into the universe and going to these wonderful places that they were called the Akashic Record, and sitting in a class and having books presented to me, none of which I could read. But somehow the pages turned, and I would have the information. And of course, I told several people that, and of course they right away wanted me to see some kind of a therapist. They thought there was something the matter with me. But the Spirit would come to me and reassure me that I was on the right path. And I was born ADD and dyslexic, and that's pretty tough for a kid, because back in those days we didn't have any resources that helped children like that. Thank goodness, because Spirit wanted me to be exactly as I was, and to learn what they wanted me to learn, not what mankind wanted me to learn. And that's made all the difference in the world, Rikka. So I've just, I started doing formal readings at the age of 12. I'm now 73, so you can figure out how long I've been doing this. Very long time. I've seen over 60,000 people. I'm just having a ball, and I've just begun. This book is going to be really wonderful, and I'm looking forward to the future.
And what I love about the book is in every page it is so rich with connection to Spirit, with tools to be able to embody that connection to Spirit, to open up your own, each of our special gifts and talents and abilities.
Well, I like to say the book took 10 years to write. It's the absolute truth. I tell everybody that the inspiration for the book originally came from a radio personality, Earl Nightingale. It's way before your time, honey. You're not going to remember who Earl Nightingale is. But he was a wonderful, kind, gentle soul. He'd come to see me twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year, when I had my office in Carmel, California. And he would always say to me when he left, "Don't forget, I need you to write that book. I want to promote that book." I thought, what book? I don't know what he's talking about. Later, I worked for his company, Nightingale Conant, and produced the material for them. And out of that came this book. And sort of the rest is history.
Yeah, and literally this book has 60 years of knowledge, 60 years of wisdom, like 60 years of angelic connection and tools. This book is so rich, you guys. It's almost weird, having a book, because it's like, what, $20, whatever it is, and it's like, but it's 60 years of wisdom. Like, wow. So
it's kind of a good deal when you come to look at it.
It is.
The wonderful thing is it's a resource book, which is what I wanted it to be. Yeah. I wanted it to be a resource book, not only for people who already knew but needed to be reminded, but for those who don't know, could be brought forward into the light and into their life, and give them a chance to feel a well-being, and know that they're not alone, and know that Spirit loves them, and to discover a whole new life of peace and tranquility. And I wanted them to have a foundation, and that's what the book has done for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. And it does. And by the way, too, it's a fun read. Like,
We tried to keep it a little light.
Yeah, like you pick it up and you're like, I can't put it down. Oh my God, and they're teaching them. And next page. It's like, it's
I had a lady email me, one of my clients from years ago, and she said, "You and your book," she says, "my husband has stayed up for 2 nights reading this book and been late for work for 2 mornings in a row." She said, "He absolutely can't put it down."
There you go, guys. There you go. Exactly. Oh, well, just in case you guys are just joining us, this is Hans King, and Hans King is a beloved friend of mine who has just taken over 60 years of knowledge and wisdom about the connection to divine and upstairs, and living that divine life, that guided life, And he's actually put it into one book, which is totally amazing. Now, you guys may want to check out the page and sort of, read a little bit more about it while we're here on this interview. That website is, let's see.
www.guidedbook.com.
There we go, Guided Book.
I put it right here on the computer, so I remember to see it.
Perfect. Oh, you guys are going to want to get this. Oh, it's so amazing. I can't wait for you guys to receive it.
I'm looking forward to hearing some of the responses from your particular group of people on the book, because your people are very, very wonderful, as you know.
One of the things that I love, too, about the book is that I can feel you and feel your love in every word.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. That's very nice of you to say. There's a lot of love in it. You're right. There's a lot of love in this book.
Yeah, and it's a testament to who you are, and your commitment to divinity and to love and to spirit. I'm wondering if you can share with the audience a little bit about how they be you, how they move into that much love. Just tap into them and see what do they need to hear right now in order to know that they're loved.
People need to understand that they were never alone. Mm-hmm. Society, parents without meaning to, jobs, all of these different things that our mind chatter gets involved with take us away from home. And that's what happens is we grow up away from home, and people lose their sense of identity. They become what they do rather than who they are. And what I've tried to teach people in the book is they can return to the source and see all their dreams come true. No doubt whatsoever that having to live out there in the cold and the dark and the wilderness, which is called society, probably isn't going to do a lot for them. There's going to be a lot of struggle out there. But they can, by using the heart mind rather than the head mind, there's a vast connection to the heart mind, which is called spirit, which is called the God force. And all of that is available to them, but they don't know that. That's why I wrote this book, is to give them an opportunity to say, oh, wait a minute. And not only that, but in each chapter, we kind of tell you how to do it. Whatever we're talking about, we have cute little things at the end of the book that you can do, little meditations or different things that will help broaden your experience.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And, I don't know if you fully know how special you are in this department. Being around you, being in your presence, having you in my life, just so you guys know, for example, when I got cancer, when John and I broke up, it's Hans called me every other day, just so that I knew that I wasn't alone. And
that's what I wanted you to know, that you weren't alone.
And so that I knew that I was loved. And that love is all that Hans is. He doesn't, being around him, it's wow, he has no idea how to function any other way. But
I really don't, honey. I really don't. People say that I'm naive. People say I'm too sensitive. And I just say, thank heaven. Because I can't think of anybody I'd rather be than me. What the wonderful thing about representing spirit is that the huge degree of love they sit in the normal. They're just normal in this great love. So people used to say to me back in the day, they once said in one of the main California papers, when you go to see Hans, it's an event of love. It's a happening of love. And because as you know, spirit has no judgment of any kind about anybody or anything. So people sit in front of you knowing that you don't have a judgment of them. It helps them to learn to love themselves a little bit more, that if this man and spirit can see the good in them, then maybe they should look at finding the good in them. And they're all just baby angels having a human experience to begin with.
And feel that, you guys. You can feel as he speaks that, this is not just, it's not just a normal conversation. It's I can feel the love expanding in my world, right? So as he speaks, it's really an activation, a acknowledgement and acceptance of love. So, would all of you out there be willing to receive how loved you are by spirit, and that they sit in this love, they emanate this love.
That's it. It's just, it's amazing to me of the 61 or 62,000 readings I have done, okay? It seems like I did one. Now let me explain that. The love always remained the same for each person. Spirit never loved anybody more, never loved anybody less. Their love is omnipresent. And I get to sit in that and then work with these wonderful individuals who come to see me, some very open, some very scared, some emotionally blackmailed to come and see me by a parent or a loved one. But they all walk away saying, wow, there is God, there is love. And that's why I did this book. We say it took 10 years, which is probably true. But I wanted people to know they have a resource, that they're not alone.
Oh, beautiful.
You don't want much of that praise that you're heaping on me, you would go to the mirror and look in the mirror and heap it on yourself, young lady.
Well, we stand in the same world.
We do. We're a mutual admiration society for love.
Yes, we are. And by the way, too, we stand with all of you,
Yes. Everyone who's on this call today, this broadcast today, I just want them to know how incredibly loved they are. They have a resource in God, a resource in the Spirit that can change every aspect of their life if they're down, whatever's going on for them, that they are truly loved unconditionally in this world.
And just to remind you guys, go to guidedbook.com and grab this book. You absolutely won't regret it. It will give you such a deeper divine connection and such incredible tools. Like, I love that you included so much too that they could bring into their lives, that they could use tools they could use for the day. It's like you literally took 60 years of knowledge and went, here you are, my beloveds, and it feels like your legacy. I mean, it feels like...
I think that's what it is. I think you and I want to discuss that in your home. I feel this is my legacy, and when I say I'm proud of it, I'm proud of being able to represent the Spirit in such a way that so many people are being helped by it. That's what I'm proud of.
So guidedbook.com, you guys, go grab it right now, guidedbook.com. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. I love it. Well, what else, what would you like to share with the audience about the book, about what they can expect to receive in the book, or maybe like a tool or a piece of it that really feels like it stands out to share with them as a...
I think one of the things you and I have talked about is probably, when I say it's a pet peeve, it is a pet awareness that blocks people that I have. I like to call it the mind chatter. The mind chatter is the only thing that tells us what we are not. It rarely ever tells us what we are, what we can do. It always tells us, well, maybe that's not going to happen, and don't get excited about something, and you're really probably not good enough to do this, and maybe the Spirit doesn't love you as much as they love somebody else. That's why they got it and you didn't. So the mind chatter plays tricks on us. What I try to do is to help people to understand the mind chatter is only an illusion of the mind. It really doesn't represent any truth, none whatsoever. It can only say what you put in it. Like fear and doubt can only live in the house that you build, because there is no such thing in the Spirit. There is no fear, there is no doubt. And we give you individual tools that will allow you to see past your limitations. And I think that's terribly important, because every day, I'm sure you get it, but every day I get slews of emails who say, Hans, why can't I move forward? I believe, but I feel so stuck, I feel so blocked. And I say nowadays, go get the book, because, really, it will explain it to you much more than I can do in a short period of time. Go get the book. And each time you read the book, you're going to open another door that allows for more possibilities of love and acceptance and in your life. And so this is an important thing for people to look at, is that, yes, they can. They can be who they want to be.
Yes, beautiful. Yes. I mean, and, I found myself in your story, like, how many of you guys have really felt like maybe you got dropped off on the wrong planet, or like somehow you didn't get the right family, or it's a beautiful portrayal too of being so different. And for me, it activated some remembrances of connection to spirit that my surroundings, just disregarded or said didn't exist. And I began going, oh my God, I remember they came to my bed. Oh, wow, I remember this. So it's going to do layers and layers and layers of activating that true divine.
That's absolutely true. And that's beautifully said, because all of us are so loved by the Spirit that we've all had experiences, but they get layered away in time.
Yeah.
And we forget that love that happened at that moment.
Yes. Yes. And you're going to find yourself going, oh my God. And then that connection is going to reawaken in you. That's
nicely put, because when you get that, oh my God, your life at that point begins to change.
Yes. Like I always say, take one step towards God, and God takes like 12 steps towards you.
That's right. Always. And one thing I want your audience to understand, and I mentioned it several times today, there is no judgment of you by anyone but you. Spirit has no judgment. Rikka, at the end of every radio show on Saturday, I say to my people, I said, remember always that God, in its infinite wisdom, doesn't love anyone more in this world than you. And I can remember saying that at Agape at an event, and I just saw tears coming down people's faces because they didn't have that concept.
Yes. Yes.
You are so special with Spirit that there is no one else in the universe that has the same connection to Spirit that you do. You're that unique.
Would everybody be willing I can feel some energy wanting to pour into your bodies and into your systems right now. Would you guys be willing to take a deep breath and actually receive that? Yeah, take a deep breath and just breathe that in. Like God loves, how do you say it, Hans? It's just perfect.
God doesn't love anyone more in this universe than you.
God doesn't love anyone more in this universe than you. Yeah, feel that. Take another deep breath, just breathing that in. Will you accept that?
Yeah, and people can probably feel the little bit of resistance that comes from your request because it's so new to them. But you are so unique. Each and every one of you beautiful children of God are so unique. There will never been, nor has there ever been, a soul more wonderful than you. You are perfect in God's eyes.
Now, if anybody's feeling resistance out there, Hans, what should they do about it?
Well, if they're feeling a little resistance, I want them to stop for just a second and say to the resistance, is this true? Is this my mind chatter doing the resistance? And what they'll find is it's their own mind chatter that's fearful of losing control. And so when the heart mind comes forward with the God force and helps you, the mind chatter perceives this as a threat, a direct threat. It tries to cancel the possibilities in the statement. But you cannot shine the dark in the light. The light will always prevail so long as you seek the light.
Yes. The light always wins.
Always. And that's good for this, for what's going on with everybody these days. That's a good statement. The light always wins.
The light always wins. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, take a deep breath and just breathe that in, you guys. Oh, there is no one that God loves more than you. Oof. You are loved beyond all.
And it's such an alien concept to people. Even people who follow you, who follow me, it's hard for them to wrap their head around, God loves me exactly the way I am. So I say to my friends, remember, there's nothing you're ever going to be able to do, nothing in your life that will make God love you more than God loves you today. The angels love you today, spirits love you today. There's nothing you can do to make that better because you already are perfect for God. You simply have to get on the bandwagon.
All right, take a deep breath, breathe that in, get on the bandwagon of accepting that love. And if what's great, I love saying things because it allows your body and your system to really say, and hear what it is that you're accepting. So you can go ahead and say, I accept that I am loved by God. I accept that I am loved by God, breathing that in. And just accept it. It's like lay down all the mind chatter and just, you know what? Never mind.
There's your new truth. There's your new truth.
Exactly. One more time. I accept that I'm loved by God. There you go. Take a deep breath and breathe that in. Oh, just feeling how loved you are. Oh, Hans.
Every moment of every day. Every moment of every day. There's nothing you do that ever makes God not love you. Never.
And there's nothing you need to undo in order to be loved.
No. You're perfect just as you are. Because we are just the baby angels in human form, Spirit once said to me, and remember, you'll always be susceptible to human frailties. We look on these very, very lovingly. It's perfectly okay. You can get angry. You can say some unkind words. We don't pay any attention to any of that because we already know who you are. And we know how you react in humanness to pain. That's not who you are. Who you are is different. See, many years ago, they taught me who someone was and their behavior are two different things. And the Spirit and God love who you are.
Now look at that, you guys. Look at how what it would be like in your life to literally see through your behavior and all behaviors.
All behavior. That's why you'll hear me call it the illusion of life. There isn't anything going in our life today that we did not create. And we're busy going through our life that we created, and we're passing through the lives that other people created, but there's no reality to them. None of this do you ever get to keep, as you know.
Yes.
So why do we take it so seriously? I'm not certain. The only thing that is real, as you above all people know. Spirit once said to me, the only thing you ever get to keep is how you loved and how you allowed yourself to be loved. That's all.
Oh, you guys take a deep breath and breathe that in. Just breathing in that's the only thing that you are. The only thing.
It's so funny because I can feel some of the people with a little. It starts to get here, right up to here, and you can feel the little bit of hesitation. Is it okay to believe this? Yes, children, it's okay to believe this. Everything good will happen for you. Don't worry.
That's one of the things that I cherish too about having you and this book in my life is that it's like this divine father that, my father passed away when I was 11. And so, you come in with this love and this presence and these words that give me permission on a level from a different perspective, different energy than. So, it's like Hans is such a beautiful divine father. It's like, hey, listen, children, like, you can receive this. I'm like, okay, divine father, yes.
My friend Michael, back with that agape, once said, Hans, I watch you in action and you love every one of them, every one of the people in the room, every one of the students that you have, you love them all. I said, yes, I do, absolutely, because they're so unique. Their story is so unique. Who they are is so unique. It's an honor to be in the presence of these wonderful people because many of them are seekers, And the good book says, a seeker findeth always. So my job is to be there to say, here's a little light. I'll shine this on you. Come have a look at this over here.
I love it, Hans. You're bringing me to tears.
Well, sweetie, I'll tell you. I always in my offices have a box of Kleenex on the chair or on the sofa because everybody, men, women, children, everybody tears up when they touch their own truth. And they witness that somebody that they don't know knows who they are because that person is working with a God force. It brings them great comfort, great solace, which is what this book has done for me and with me as we wrote this book. And I wanted them to understand how connected they are, that they don't yet know that they're that connected. And here's how to get your groove back, if you will. This is how you do it.
Yes, and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and open enough to actually receive the love of God.
Well, you have to put your finger right on to be vulnerable enough. That's what people are afraid of.
Yeah.
But you don't need to worry about being with God. God's got no judgment of you.
It's true.
I said to a group one day, I said, if you really want to be afraid of something, be afraid of your own mind chatter. Don't be afraid of your possibilities in love.
And, what I feel too is that as we expand, the material of the separation from God, the illusion of the separation from God, is like made up of fear. So as we expand, it's not that we're scared the divine, we're just passing through a layer of separation, and
That's right. Just another layer of separation. That's all.
yeah, just, returning to love. So we're not actually afraid of being loved by God. It's just that we pass through fear in order to receive it.
Yeah.
So knowing that, you guys, would you be willing to go through and open up, like through the resistance, through the fear, and go, you know what, I'm receiving it anyway. Like, I know that this is true. I open my heart, my spirit. God, have at me, like, have your way with me.
Well put. God have at me.
It's beautiful. And for me too, every time I touch the presence of God and the presence of God in everything, all of the love, it's like immediately I well up. It's like, oh.
It is. It's like returning home.
Yeah.
It's like going home from a long journey, and there's a fire on, and loved ones are there, and they welcome you in, and you remember how great it is to be loved.
Mm. Yes, welcome home, right? Oh, how great it is to be loved. Oh. And that everything outside of what you call the mind chatter, everything is loving us right now. Like the trees are reaching out to love you.
Absolutely. I'm just looking out my windows here. We're in the fall here in Western North Carolina, so all the trees are brown, but there's a beauty in the brown because it reminds me of the beginning of a new time, that we've just ended a time, a new time is beginning. So this is how it starts when they lose all their leaves. It was a bit chilly this morning. It was 24.
Oh, yeah, that is chilly. But even that cold air is still loving you.
Oh, I think it's invigorating. I love every moment of it. I have friends that don't like it quite that much, but I don't. Well, because one thing I learned when I was a kid, you really can't do much about the weather, so you might as well just go ahead and appreciate whatever it is.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's like it's easy for people in nature to feel loved by God because
Yes.
there's none of those behaviors like we talked about, right?
That's right. Well, you're closer to God, I think, when you're in the forest. We actually live in a forest.
Yeah.
And I think you're closer to God when I can go out on my front porch and actually sit in my rocking chair and feel the power of God in the trees.
Yeah, absolutely. And even, and the trees are always here, whether we're in a distance from them or whether we're actually in them. So, for you guys, what would it be like to actually stay in that divine God source, that love, and allow yourself to be loved and allow yourself to be present through all the behaviors of you and everyone, knowing, hey, this is actually not me. So I can be present in love, knowing that this is not, this is not who I am. I can breathe through it. I can release those behaviors and pre-forgive everyone for their behaviors because I know it's not them. It's not their real self, right?
That's correct. It's not the real self. Who someone is and their behavior, two different things.
Take a deep breath, you guys, and just breathe that in for a moment. Like, receive the purity of that you can love people through their behaviors because their behaviors are not them.
No.
Easy, right? Take a deep breath and just breathe that in. Will you love yourself through your behaviors because that's not you also? Yes?
So often I will say to a parent, I know you love your child, but I don't think you like their behavior right now. And those are two different things. Two entirely different things. And it's okay to disagree with somebody. Just do it in the light. It's okay to tell your mind chatter, be quiet. It's okay to do that. You don't have to be a victim to everything the mind chatter says about you or to you. You have the power to fill each of those spaces of doubt with God, with power, with wisdom from the Spirit. You do not have to be a victim of this at all.
Yes. Yes. Now, what you call the mind chatter, I call human consciousness.
Yes.
What I feel like is as we embody onto this plane, we become the entirety of human consciousness, and then we spend however many lifetimes finding out what we are and also recognizing that we're not this illusion, right? So that's the same piece on the behavior, and I feel like a lot of people are just picking up on the frequencies that are going on all around. Yeah, so, taking a moment, taking a step back and going, hey, wait a second, like, knowing that this behavior, this mind chatter is actually not you, taking that breath of love in, and then beginning to choose what it is that you engage with instead of just having the mind chatter be there. It's like, wait, anything that's automatic is not you. You didn't actually choose it. You're just aware of it.
Yeah.
But now what are you going to do in the face of it, right, Hans?
Exactly. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be grateful, even in the face of your mind saying blah, 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 blah? You know, are you going to choose to go,
very well put. Yeah. What is going to be your decision? So you're faced with something that the mind chatter has created. Do you choose to make it real, or do you choose to say, oh, it's just a thought passing through? God is my source.
Yeah. Woo, woo. God is my source.
God is my source. Mind chatter is not my source. God is my source.
Exactly. Now, if you guys just got on this this video stream event that we're actually doing, I'm with Hans King, and we're talking about his new book, Guided. And the website to go ahead and grab that book, which is 60 years of knowledge and wisdom from one of the most profound teachers that I have ever met, and it's at guidedbook.com. So you're going to want to pick that up, guidedbook.com. Now we have still another maybe 20 minutes to share with people and to play with people. You know, what else would you like to bring forward from the book, just for our audience to really get a sense of what's so, you know, the specialness of you in this, in your particular perspective and your particular way to give.
To notice in the book is an evenness of spiritual consciousness. There is a flow of love that flows through the book and creates these incredible lessons for you without ever appearing as a judgment or anybody's wrong. It simply is, you actually raise yourself up and put yourself in the consciousness from day one. And if you hold that, you are actually accessing the great abundance of love in the universe. And what you have to be careful here is this shows you how the mind, I know you call it one thing, I call it something else, but notice how the mind chatter tries to come in and disengage you. There's the lesson itself. It will try to disengage you. But this book, you can feel the power and the resources of spirit holding the book because they wrote it. You know,
Yeah.
I had great ghostwriters, and
Literally, angel.
they put everything on the page in one form or another. And this book makes everybody okay. By that I mean the person who's maybe thinks they're a novice will find they're of equal value as the person who's a sage or a wise master of some kind. And so it evens out the playing field. And it gives us an opportunity to really, really see. This is the part I love. This book gives us an opportunity to really see who we actually are. Who we actually are. Because we can't see who we are because we dress the person in the mirror. And we always want to make the person in the mirror look better. Never accepting that the person looking back at us is already perfect. It's already perfect. Doesn't need any change. And this gives people a sense of to me, Rikka, it gives them a sense of okayness. I know that's not a real word, but it gives them a sense of okayness, that they're okay. They can stop struggling so hard. You know, Rikka, many years ago, I had a group in San Francisco Bay Area that I named Cliff Jumpers Anonymous. And what it was I had about 5 or 6 years. People would come in and out of the group who were about to make some profound changes in their life. And I used to call it jumping off the cliff because they couldn't see the outcome. And all those years and all the years since, I have never seen anybody who jumped off the cliff who hit the ground, ever. Always spirit came in with where they should be, what should be happening for them, opening new doors. The lesson was in the trust and the faith. And this book gives people the opportunity to practice trust and faith and belief.
Oh, beautiful. And, you know, I'm a testament to that. In reading the book, you can literally feel that the full flow of divinity. And it, coming from where Hans comes from, which is in that kingdom of heaven, it's you feel the okayness. Like you feel, oh my gosh, like wow, like I'm held here, I'm supported here, I'm seen
Absolutely.
here, acknowledged here, I'm perfect here, I'm, and it layers on top of
That's
layers.
nicely put. I'm perfect here. That is correct. I'm perfect here.
Yes.
I drive my staff nutty. Let me just explain to you something. They feel I should say things a certain way sometimes or do things a certain way sometimes. I just can't do that. I'm sorry. I just am who I am. And so they pull their hair out, but follow your destiny, which is your truth. Follow your truth. And it will set you free. You are this great glowing light in this world that I've been tremendously attracted to. The radiance that comes from you, the intention to serve these beautiful angels, and how you do it and how you go about it, making everyone feel so loved. It makes my heart soar to see you do your work. Believe me.
Well, I feel the same way about you, which is, why I wanted and, so strongly to bring you and this book to the community, to my community, because, you stand for what I stand for.
Yeah.
And it will give them, another way, another bridge, more tools, a different perspective, to walk into that love and to just, allow our lives to be glorious. Like, one of the things I just love about you is, when we talk on the phone, you're like, hey, I woke up today. It's the best day ever.
I made it to another day, I'm here. Because every day has this, and I've had some health challenges, as you know. I'm fine, everybody, but I had some health challenges. And I had a chance lying up in a hospital bed for almost 6 months to really look at a lot of things. And I actually wound up being so happy every day because I made every day an adventure in love and light. And every day I wanted to make one person smile. One of the nurses, doctors, make one person smile. And I remember this young doctor came in and he's talking, and suddenly I just said to him, really? You're really thinking that right now? Shouldn't you know better than to think that? And the poor guy was flabbergasted, says, you don't know what I'm thinking. And then I told him what he was thinking. Now, I'm not a mind reader, but Spirit was trying to help him through a very tough spot right now. And he says, you are good at what you do. So, helping people every day to sort of get past their blockades, that's what I love to do, is to watch it when you pull the shade away from what appears as the problem, the light shines on it and it vanishes into light. So the problem becomes a resource of love and light.
Yes. Okay. Now check this out. Could you guys imagine reading this book and knowing that every quote unquote problem in your life is a resource of light?
That's right. It's a resource. And that's why I use the hospital. They put me by this huge picture window, and I could look right out the window and see 2 magnolia trees and potted plants, and then the Blue Ridge Parkway right there. And I could see it. And I could see the thunderstorms and the lightning and the rain and whatever we get in the summer back here on the East Coast. And I was so, I get tears in my eyes, and I would thank God for letting me have this unique experience with nature, this unique experience with love on this planet. And every day, kids, there's a multitude of things you can do that remind me how loved and connected you are to the universe, how connected you are to Spirit. Just because it doesn't fit this thing's idea of how it's supposed to look doesn't mean any of that's true. If you go and read a book by anyone, Rikka, you consider to be well-known in whatever endeavor in life they chose, somewhere in the book will be these words in one form or another. And I always knew it. In other words, they set their intention and never lost track. That's what you did when you went through your illness. That's what you did when you had some other tragedies.
Yeah.
Never lose your focus of love, and you will always see it through.
And in every moment and in every day, I loved how, here you are in a hospital bed, and most people would think, wow, that's a bad thing. Yet you're diving into the adventure and the magic.
Right. So I had a wonderful friend, Alexander, who's now passed over at just a couple months under 100. And whenever she would be challenged by something, she was a very worldly lady, whenever she'd get a letter from somebody, or somebody would say something, or she got challenged from something, she would always say to herself, I wonder what's in this for me to learn today. I'm excited about this adventure on this issue. Every day. So she turned everything that appeared to be in difficulty into possibilities and lessons.
And, you know, could you guys imagine that? Like everything that is seemingly a problem, you go into it with the excitement of the adventure of what you're going to learn about your soul and about your connection to spirit. Like, yeah. Like everything. Hello. And, you know, that's this book is packed full of those perspectives, those ways of looking at things, the questions that you ask, the processes, the tools, the stories, the adventures that, you know.
And then we give them some how-to tools to work with, you know, to see that to come to reality. Each chapter has its own set of tools. It's a wonderful book. And I didn't write it, I presented it. There's a big difference between writing it and presenting it. I mean, Spirit wrote the book and somehow the words got on the page.
That's true. So the website, again, to pick up this profoundly amazing book of, you know, 60 years of wisdom, of connection to spirit, is guidedbook.com. Guidedbook.com. We're with Hans King.
It's a labor of absolute love, believe me.
Yeah. And
you know, I never met a person in my work that I couldn't find the light in them when they couldn't. I never met one. And when I was able to bring that bit of light into that person's life using, of course, the spirit and their words, I could see people's lives change in that moment, because you cracked the blockade that says, no, I can't, to, well, maybe. And that changed everything for people. And I'm doing it today. I did it this morning, as a matter of fact. So I'm still working and having a great time and doing it and bringing the light. I'm going to be coming out to see you, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes,
That'll be lovely. You know, one of the things that you're really have a very special divine gift and talent is in connection to beings that have quote unquote passed over, you know. So would you be willing to, you know, offer the audience some wisdom or some healing around, you know, their connection to the people that have passed over in their world?
Well, everybody, Rikka, honey, everybody has, we call them guides in England, okay? But everybody has a guide, everybody has a helper, a friend, an angel, everybody does. And what I try to help people to do is to give them back to their guides, to their friends. That guide may be a mother, it may be a father, it could be a child, it could be anyone that they once knew and loved dearly, and that person's not present in their life anymore. The job of a good medium is to bring that individual back who they're longing for, and engage them in a dialogue in such a way that they know that that's who they're talking to. That's what any good medium should be able to do. And when you know that the consciousness of an individual that you love somehow has survived, you may not know how it survived, but it survived, it makes all the difference in the world. The pain is not so severe because you know that someday you too will see that person. I kind of joke about it. I always say to my clients, remember, they didn't go anywhere, you're not. So in the end, you will see them again. You will hug them again. In the meantime, here's some tools to help you to get through until then. And one of the things that I have learned, much to my wonder, is how much they want to help us and how much people don't ask for the help. And so I teach people how to literally turn to their departed ones, loved ones, and say, I need help with this issue. I need help with that issue. Would you please help present the doors that I might discover how to work with this? And we see the most amazing events happen. You know, someone once said, I think it's Joseph Campbell, he said, when you finally see it, when you finally hear it, when you finally get it, doors appear where previously there were no doors. And that is my job, is to help people find the doors they can't see.
Now, this might be an interesting question, but has there ever been anyone who like came to you and said, I want to connect with this loved one, and you're like, oh, they're not here?
No, not that I'm aware of. Because normally what they do is if that loved one, for whatever reason, doesn't want to come forward, the spirit will bring someone connected to that person forward and give the same message. Okay, so a person is always identified with that person at some level.
So, just everybody take a moment and take that in. Like there's everyone is here, every being that you've ever loved, like everyone.
Everyone.
There is no, they're gone. There is no.
No, and I wish people would stop saying that. They're not. They haven't gone anywhere. I'd like to say they're hello. I couldn't do this work for 60 some years if the spirit world weren't around me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and in some ways they're more here than we are for an illusion.
Oh, I think that's very true.
Yeah.
we only watch out for the negative. Spirit always sees through all of the negative, and when they look at us, it doesn't matter whether we're rich or poor, it doesn't matter whether we're well-dressed or well-educated. All they ever see when they look at us is the baby angel inside of the body. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So, gosh, not only are you not alone, it's like, what if you began even asking them how to even be more here? It's like they're all here. They didn't go anywhere. So how can we be here?
It's just like exactly. You could say, please present me doors that I might discover how to be here more full of what the lesson is, full of what the life for me is about. And they will do it. They'll present you with very, very interesting doors. And you're never alone, and you can feel the power of spirit when it comes to you and helps you through a lesson. And they're not always easy, as you know, but they're always present.
And it's always amazing, when you make that commitment to stand for love in the midst of everything, and to, not listen to what your mind's saying or what your emotions are saying or what your behavior's saying or what your ego's saying, all that stuff. When you go, you know what? Actually, I'm just going to stand in love. I'm going to stand with God on this.
Nicely put. That's exactly right. Just stand in love. Because no storm, no negativity can knock love off its pedestal. Can't happen.
Yes. Yes, I love it. No storm can knock love off of its pedestal.
Will never happen. Not in a million years.
Yeah. And it makes you absolutely 100% sustainable. It makes you present. It makes you
that's the best way. Yes, very sustainable. This is the thing is, once you understand this, and that's what the book will do, is give you the ability to understand it. Then the things that used to appear as the storms and the depression and all of these, they just poof, they vanish. They just go away.
Now just check that out for a second. Like standing with God, poof, depression disappears. Standing with God, poof, doubt disappears. Standing with God, poof, fear disappears. And the reason why is because it's not real. And it's there to teach you how to stand in God.
That's right. So, it's just a lesson.
Yeah. It's just a lesson going, hey, here's who you are. So once you go, oh, here's who I am, it goes poof.
and here's another little catch for some folks. If you've been repeating a lesson over and over and over again, and finally you've listened to Rikka, you've listened to me, and you've become more aware, and you say to Spirit, you know what, I think I have learned this lesson, and this is what I think I learned from the lesson, they will immediately pull it from you, and you will never be presented with that lesson again.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, you guys got to incorporate that into your practice. Oh, Moses. Hey, you guys, I think I've learned this lesson. Here's everything I've learned from this lesson. So, you could pull it from my experience. It'd be fantastic.
And boom, it's gone. That's it. They'll never replay the lesson again.
Oh my God, I am going through my library.
Write it down, Rikka. Write it down.
Yes. Now you have heard it here from Hans King. I mean, this is like what the book is chock full of. Like things like that where you go, oh my God, that is brilliant. That is genius. That is going to transform my entire life. And the crazy thing is, it's the price of a book, which is just like, whoa, 60 years of knowledge of working with spirit. So again, that website is guidedbook.com. Guidedbook.com. Grab it.
Labor of love.
You're not going to be able to put it down. I couldn't put it down either.
I found myself the other morning reading the book at 2 o'clock in the morning. And
Yeah.
I was going, and I had to ask myself, you're just not that smart, Hans. How did you do this? Because I could hear the Spirit did it through me, you know. So they've been so wonderful, and I would find little things in the chapters that I had forgotten the Spirit had said, and it's just beautiful. It's just, you can cut out little pieces, not cut out of the book, but take little pieces out and put them on your refrigerator, put them on your mirror, because sometimes, you know, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. There's profound nurturing and profound love in the book. It is profound.
It is so true. It's so true. Oh, I just love that tool. I'm going to start using that today. All right, guys, here's all the stuff I've learned. I've learned all the pieces of this lesson.
That's right. And just tell me, here's what you got to be careful of. There's a part of us that when we're working on a tough lesson, when Spirit starts to pull the lesson, we say, well, wait a minute, what about this? We were sometimes afraid to let go of the lesson. Let the lesson go.
Yes, because there's something more magical that wants to take its place.
That's correct.
You know, like whether
it's always another level higher than the level you were at, which was a lower level. So each time we learn a lesson, we're a little higher above than we were before. And it gets easier in time. Than to work through lessons.
It does. It does. Oh, Hans. Okay, so guidedbook.com. You guys just close your eyes, go pick it up, have it shipped to your house. It'll arrive, you know, very soon. And you'll be like, oh, thank God. Woo, check this out. And it's this big tidal wave of love that you're going to feel every time you open it. And you're going to...
I wish I could sign everybody's copy, but I'm not quite certain how I could do that. But know in my heart on that blank page that my love pours out to each and every one of you.
Oh, I can feel you energetically. You know, you've already signed the books, and you can literally feel it in the words. Like I can hear Hans's voice talking to me in my head when I read this book. Like I don't even read it from my own voice. I can actually hear your voice.
It's pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing. So guidedbook.com, you guys. All right, we have a few more minutes. What would you like to share? Like if you had one message that you could share with...
Well, I think I said it earlier. I think it's really what I'm finding with what's happening in the world today. I want people desperately to know they are not alone. There is a power of love that is hearing them. There's a power of guidance, unconditional love that is protecting them. If you'll just stop for a moment, read the book, and say, I'm choosing to connect with God. I'm choosing to connect with truth. I'm putting my burden of fear and doubt down, and I'm replacing it with love. You have an ability to be happy. Most people that I have found don't really know what true happiness is. And I believe it's letting go of all the fears and doubts in your life and just breathing in the trees. And like you were talking about, just being, learning to simply be is so, it releases us from so much stuff. But I want them to all know they're not alone. That somebody in spirit loves them, that they can ask for what they need. They would always ask for the experience, never ask for the deed. Just ask for the experience, and Spirit will answer that question at the appropriate time. They all have that power.
Now, that's another key, by the way, that's actually also in the book around asking for an experience versus asking for a thing. It's like, you know, guidance functions from spirit, not from things.
Yes,
so,
that's correct.
Like this is the crazy wisdom that's in this book, you guys. Like just like that. Like you're like, oh my God, I was always asking for this. Oh my God, wait a second. Oh, ask for the experience. And
the Spirit always says to me, they never look at the deed.
Yeah.
They only look at the intention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so even if you feel that you would like to do something really wonderful for humanity, if your thought is that you would like to do it, you get the same credit as if you had done it, because thoughts are living things. So they only look at the intention behind the deed, not the deed itself.
Beautiful. Oh, see, check it out. Another crazy pearl of wisdom, you guys. And you're going to read every page. You're like, oh, I needed to know this. Oh, God, I needed to know that. So go to guidedbook.com. I wanted to bring this to you, especially from my heart. Hans has been an incredible, beloved gift of love in my life. And I am grateful for him. I adore him. I want him to be your divine father in your life. And for you to pick up this book and to get the real thing, to experience how loved you are, how seen you are, how held you are, how perfect you are, how you are already loved right now.
Already loved right now.
You don't have to be any different. Oh, Hans, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on, my princess, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you for this magnificent opportunity to be with you and your wonderful people. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, and we will be having a replay of this, so we'll send that out. You can listen again, and thank you all for choosing to stand with God. We are transforming the human consciousness and bringing love home to itself and everyone. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you all. Thank you, Hans. I love you infinitely. Everyone, have a beautiful day and know that you are loved. Bye, everyone.